Assalamu alaikum. I hope all of you are doing great. In this lecture, we will be talking about some common English errors in spelling. I personally wanted to do this video because I myself also make so many spelling mistakes. It might be a natural tendency for some, but might also be as a result of lack of practice. So when you continuously write, you become aware. When you read so much, you become aware of the spellings because your mind consciously or subconsciously picks up all the spellings, and when you reproduce, you do it well. But since we do not read that much or we write very less, so in that case, we come across with so many spelling errors. So just like let's revise a few rules or maybe for some common spelling errors that we make or might be making already. So because after watching this video, you'll have to be a little bit more conscious and careful whenever you're writing, and then consciously look for these mistakes if you're doing. Um, Basically, I was checking so many assignments of my students, and most of them were repeatedly doing these errors, and especially in grammar. We also have a series in which we talked about commonly repeated errors. So if you haven't watched that, you can still go back and try to be conscious about those mistakes in grammar that you might be making. But in this video, we will be specifically talking about some common English misspellings. That means we are misspelling some common words. So here's a quick reference guide. Looked for so many websites and there were so many words which were commonly misspelled, and there was a long list. But I selected this one because the common errors are also shown here, and the common misspellings that we use, and the advice to remember here is as well. I think this would also be helpful for so many other words because the basic structure of the words would remain same. Because let's say a double C, there are so many words that begin with a double C, and we often write AC instead. So if you remember that a double C is a common beginning, for example, for so many words like accommodate and accommodation are two examples here. We have so many other words like accompany and so on. There is a long list. Okay, so many words begin with A, C, C. So we have to remember that many of these words, but that would not be generalized because so many words would also begin with A and C. Okay, so you have to be conscious about and repeatedly see these words which begin with A double C. So we have these words and we commonly misspell them. We either use one C or one M. So one of the common mistakes is because our mind consciously knows, okay, there is just one double letter, so that would be C, and we use that, and we do not have M doubled. So that we have to be careful about because that's a word, accommodate and accommodation. Okay, so this is a noun and that's a verb. So for that we have two C's and two M's. Okay, so you do not have to write this way, and that would be a wrong. Spellings are so important because they like there's no direct connection of intelligence with spelling. Some people might have this tendency to just miss out at some letters, but they kind of make your writing a little bit annoying for an adept or adroit reader, because when your examiner is checking your work, they would be really annoyed because your spellings are not appropriate, so they wouldn't expect much from you if that these are some basic things which you make errors. So similarly, it goes for basic grammar errors like subject verb agreement, and similarly spelling errors. So these are some common things that you have to be careful about. Then we have achieve, and the obvious mistake here is so many people are confused with E and I. Okay, so you have to remember that I always comes before E. Okay, so this is what you have to remember because you cannot, many people like achieve like this. Okay, so you can remember that this in a way that you often make a mistake in achieve. Okay, so you have to remember it's not normal because normal the order would be E for comes first and I comes later. Like let's say A, E, I, O, U, or when you read the alphabet, E comes first, I comes later. So that's not normal, and you would tend to do the normal thing, but it is irregular. So that's how you can remember that E comes before I. Okay. So that's something that you can keep in your mind, and whenever you're writing, your mind becomes a little bit conscious of it. Okay, I read it somewhere that achieve is not normal, and to achieve something is you have to put an extraordinary effort and go out of the way. So going out of the way, you yourself, I will have to come before E. So there's so many hints, like if you just pick up one of them and then you can remember the word spelling of achieve. All right, then we have across. Okay, so here you have to remember that there is one C and two S. So the correct spelling is AC, A and cross. Okay, a and cross. One cross, not A double C here. Okay, so this is a word example with A and C. So you can remember it. It is a, that means one. Okay, as an article, and then cross, but there's no space between. So that's one word. It's just to remember that it is a and cross. Then we have aggressive and aggression. Okay, so you have to remember there are two G's. You cannot write it with one G. Okay, then we have apparently. Now we have to remember that it is first it has A and then it has E and T. You so many people would write it like it would carry three A's here, here, and all the A's in it. But you have to remember that we already have two A's here and here, and then here we don't have A, it is rather E. Okay, so the correct spelling would be A double P, okay, Arently. That would be pretty simple. Then we have appearance. Okay, so all you have to remember is it has spelling of appear. Appear is simple, so common spelling that you won't make an error in, and then ANCE. Okay, not ENCE. So you can remember it that it begins with A and then it also has the second or the suffix A with ANCE. Then we have argument, in which we have U and not E, because we know what's the spelling of argue. Argue has ARGUE, but when we are combining it with meant and we are making a noun as an argument, we would omit out E. Okay, we would not write E, which would come in the word argue itself. Okay, so when we are combining, we'll have argue and then E would be omitted, and then we have meant. So there is no E. Then association, it has two double S's. So here already we have double S, then we also again have double S. Basically has a double ly, so it has lie at the end. Okay, so commonly you would either miss out L or you would miss out A. So these are common mistakes. So many people write it just with A, they write A but they miss out the other L. So the correct spelling is double ly at the end. Then beginning, again you have to remember that there is double N here. Okay, so many people would write one N and then again at the end we have ing. So this is like the correct. Begin is in a separate word and we cannot directly combine ing with it. We have to give an other N here and then we can give ing. Then we have believe. Okay, it's again like IEVE. So similar to achieve here. Achieve and believe, they both carry the same rule and it would be IEVE. Okay, bizarre has one Z and double R. Okay, not double Z and one R, but one Z and double R. Okay, then business, so many people write it like this, or they would miss out double S at the end, and also the error comes when you're making plural of business. So you have to be careful with both the words, and it starts with busy. Okay, and yes, because people who are in business, they would tend to be busy. So it's not why busy, but it's busy. So it's business. Then we have calendar. It ends with AR. This is a most repeated mistake. Even I also do it sometimes. So you have to be careful that it ends with A. Okay, and not E. Caribbean, that's a less commonly used word. And let's skip out the less common words. Okay, so we're just focusing on the most commonly used words. Then we have colleague. It also has EA. Okay, not E. Like you can think of it as a colleague is so complicated and it's a long word. So it would be colleague. Okay, so it has EA in the middle. Then coming, and I think this is less commonly misspelled because we use it so commonly that our mind has accepted it. But still, if you're making this mistake, just remember that it has one M. Then committee has double M, double T, and double E. Okay, a committee has everything double because committee consists of more than one people. So you can remember it like that, that it has double M, double T, and double E. So it's a committee of M, T, E. Like all of three of them are in double. Okay, so you cannot skip any of these. Then we have completely. So the misspelling is, so we write ETLY, while the right one is ETELY. Okay, so you cannot write TLY, you have to write ELTELY. Now this common misspell occurs because we think that the correct spelling is complete till here, and then when we are adding ly, we'll have to omit this E. But we don't have to omit it here, and we have to write E complete. So we have to write complete complete. हमने पूरा complete लिखना है यहाँ तक, and then we have to add ly. So we cannot write complete incomplete. Rather, we have to write complete complete. Then we have conscious. Okay, we have SC in the middle, not only C. So you have to be conscious about the spelling of conscious. Then we have curiosity. I know English is so irregular, but you have to get to be careful. Then we have curiosity. Okay, here we have OS, not OUS. Then we have definitely, and definitely should be definitely right. And we have to write ITE, not ATE. So this is again very commonly misspelled. Definitely is D, finitely. Okay, so basically when we break it down, just remember it. So you have to be careful that it is D, finitely. Then we have dilemma. Okay, there is no N, rather there are two double N's. Then we have disappear. So this is again misspelled, but you have to be clear that we have dis and then the complete spelling of appear. Okay, so we have one S and P, two P's. So dis, so we never write dis with two S. This is a separate thing which we write with dis, and then we have a complete spelling for appear. Then disappoint, similarly with disappear. Then ecstasy, we have ECSTASY, not TACY. After that, we have embarrass. Okay, so what we have to remember is to avoid any embarrassment, we have two R's and two S's. Okay, so then we have environment, and that again is so commonly mistake because since N is silent here, so many people would omit out N and they would just write meant. Okay, like here. So you have to keep in mind that N is here and you cannot miss N. Then we have existence. So for existence, you have to be careful that it is ENCE, not ANC. Okay, because it starts with E and then it has all three E's. E here, E in the middle, and E at the end. So existence is clear. It has E in the beginning, E in the middle, and then E in the end. Fahrenheit is EIT, okay, and AREN. And it also has H. Fahrenheit, is like silent, but we have H very clear. Familiar, okay, we have I here, two I's, ILI, like similar to similar to similar, familiar is similar to similar. So it also has ILIA. Finally, has two L's. Okay, so many people write one L, so the correct spelling carries double L. We have fluorescent, so it begins with OU. UOR, not OR. Okay. Then we have foreign. If foreign has EI, because E comes before I, so foreign has E and I. Then we have foreseeable, that begins with for. Okay, like so many words begin with for, so they have for here because it can be a compound word kind of, so we'll have a for complete here. But we have 40 here, so we don't have like for and then T. So that's why we have no E here. Similar in forward, we have friend. Okay, friend is like achieve and believe. To achieve a good friend, you have to believe in friendship. And then we have I and E. So they have a common pattern. Then we have further. So here you can find a common pattern as well. So many words are similar too, like, and we often make the similar mistakes. Then we have further, FUR. Okay, just, it begins with G. And then we have glamorous, MOR in the middle. Government, it's the same common mistake like environment, so it has N in the middle. Okay, then we have guard, U comes before A. We have happened, it has ENED. Harass has one R and two S. Okay, so not the two R and two S, rather one R and two S. Honorary, okay, and OR in the middle, not OUR. Then we have humorous, immediately ends with ELY, not ALY. So again, we have a common pattern. For the endings, you have to be careful where we have double L. We have here we have single L. Okay, accidentally is ALLY. Here we have ally in the end, as we had a pre-word. I think that was basically, or what was the word that has ALLY? That's, yes, it was basically, which has a lie at the end. So here we also have a word. Yes, accidentally and basically they would have it, but immediately has E and single L. Okay, so we could have this ending ELY, or we have a double LY ending. Then we have independent, it doesn't have A. Okay, it has all the E's in it. Then we have interrupt. Interrupt has two R's. Irresistible, it ends with IBLE. Okay, not ABLE. And this is hard to resist, but we have to be resistible, and it will have IBLE. Then we have knowledge. Remember that it would have DGE. Okay, this is again a very commonly made mistake. We have lollipop, I in the middle, not Y. Necessary is again a very commonly misspelled word. We have one C and two S. Okay, so many students confuse, they either use double C and double S, but what we have to remember is it has one C and two S. Okay, we also have noticeable. Remember the middle E. So we have a complete spelling for notice, and then we have able. Okay, so here we can see the word complete notice and then able. Then we have occasion. There's two C's and one S. Occurred has two C's and two R's. Similarly, occurrence has two C's, two R's, and it ends with ENCE. Okay, pavilion, it has one L. It is a kind of an illusion here because we think it's I surrounding both sides L, so we write like we kind of seem to see two L's, but the correct spelling is one L, which is surrounded by I on both sides. Persistent, it ends with E, it has all the E's, And then we have peace. It again has I before E, like fund, believe, and achieve. So peace is again a similar kind of a word which has I before E. We have politician. It ends with CIAN, not ICAN. It's kind of I can, and these are not I can. It would be shan, politician. Okay. Then we have possession. It has two C's. Okay. Sorry, S. So two S here and then two S here. So possession has two S's because it's possession. You possess a lot of S's. Then we have preferred. It has two R's but afterwards. So pre and furred. Then we have propaganda. Carefully observe these spellings. Okay, because you have to be conscious about these all spellings. We have publicly, and at the end it was ICLY, not CALY. Then we have really, it also has two L's. Receive, here receive is opposite to achieve. Okay, that you always know, because when you receive something, you do not achieve or win it. It's just taking it. So if you have to achieve, you have to come I before E. But when you receive something, it's very ordinary because E comes before I. Then we have referred. It has two R's. Then religious. It is GIOUS. Remember has mem at in the middle, no double M anywhere. Okay, and you cannot miss out one M. You have to remember the spelling of remember. We have resistance, the spelling of resist, and then ANCE. Sense, okay, no C here. Separate is a common mistake that I used to make a lot, but now I cannot forget the spelling because it has SE and then AA in the middle and then TE. So PARA would come in the middle. So say parrot. Okay, I often write, E used to, but now I don't. So then we have siege. Siege is again I before E. So this is the same category. So many words start with E and I comes before E. Successful has two C's and two S. We have supersede. Then we have surprise. So not surprise, but surprise. Tattoo has double T, double O. Tendency has all E's, no A in it. Therefore, we have a complete there and then for. Threshold, okay, it has H. Tomorrow has one M and double R. Okay, again, this is very commonly misspelled word, and so often people do this. So what they do is like they write double M. So what you have to remember is it is to and then kind of spelling of sorrow. So sorrow is SORROW. So here we have to write to and morrow. Okay, so we don't have to write double M or like it's double M and double R. Oh, so the common we misspelled is double M. So that you don't have to do. You have to write double M. Um, you have to write M and then double R. Trunk, truly, it has no E in it. Unforeseen. So it's unforeseen. Unfortune, E is omitted and E is here. Netly. Okay, so unfortunate, complete spelling up till here. Lee, unfortunately. Until, and there is no L. Again, this is kind of an illusion which we tend to make. It's just I and L. Then we have weird. So weird has E before I because so many words they have I before E. So this is kind of weird that weird has E before I. Then we have wherever. So it's just one E. So when we combine these words, one which ends with E, another begins with E, so we just use one E here. Okay, we wouldn't have double E's together. Then we have which and then we have so many other spellings. But for now, I think these are the ones अगर हम saying ये याद हो गए और हम लोग we can avoid these commonly made misspelled words, we will be able to purify our language much. If you have some common words in your mind that you often misspelled, or you have some funny story to share where you misspelled certain word and then now you are good at it. I particularly remembered the few words that जो हमेशा से मैं गलत लिख रही थी. So those were separate. Okay. Then there was also the word grammar. So the grammar spelling is GRAMMAR. So I'm a student of English linguistics, but this word grammar I used to misspell it for a long time, even when I was doing my English bachelor's. And I just opened my copies one day, and then I was like, oh my god, I've been writing the like misspelling of grammar itself. So grammar is something which I should be known in the spelling at least. But I was the one who was misspelling it, and I was using ER at the end. So grammar has like GRAMMAR. Okay, here the word is here, English grammar, and this is a word that I like come across so many times. But still, like things like that happen. If you have any stories with any words, you can share in your comments, or if you have any words that you think people misspell so often as in the words mentioned in this video, you can share them in the spelling in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching this video. Take care. Allah Hafiz.